Hi, friends. It's Heidi. I'm back with an interview. This time, I am speaking with Brazilian filmmaker Carolina Markowicz. She is here in Toronto, Canada, with her second feature film, Toll, or Pedágio in Portuguese. She is also the recipient of a TIFF Tribute Award for TIFF Emerging Talent. I have a pleasure of presenting you this interview. She talks about her latest film, and she's definitely somebody whose work I really appreciate for the themes, the use of humor, and also giving us a very Brazilian perspective on topics such as homophobia, sexuality, religion, and using dark humor to address these very contentious topics sometimes. So without further ado, here is Carolina Markowicz. Hi, Carolina. So nice to meet you. I am so ecstatic to be speaking with filmmaker Carolina Markowicz. Before I forget, I want to congratulate you on your TIFF Emerging Talent Award that you're going to be receiving this year at the festival. You're coming back after your first feature, Charcoal, last year, and you're bringing us a new, really excellent film called Toll. You're working with a familiar face again in the title, in one of the leading roles. But, let's talk a little bit about the film in terms of just wanting to address kind of head on, but with humor, some political and social commentary that is sort of part of Brazilian society right now.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Nice to meet you, and I'm so happy to come back to Toronto. I'm incredibly flattered and honored by the awards, and I can't wait also for our world premiere from Toll and everything, all together at the same time. It's so exciting. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, it's so encouraging to keep doing these films, with this mix of genre and tone, and with these subjects that are so important, but at the same time not easy to speak about, and to mix humor with drama, and everything that you said is pretty much the point. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm very excited to see how will the audience feel about the film.
Right. Without giving too much away, I guess we could mention that it does tackle the idea of a young woman who is a single parent to a young person who is trying to explore their sexuality, and there's contention there. So there are conflicts, and religion kind of comes into play here in terms of a very interesting setup where he's sent to a camp. Now, how much of your research in terms of conversion camps made it into the film? I'm assuming there was a bit of liberty in some of the scenarios that you presented.
Well, I did a lot of research, and I read about things. I went to church to speak about, but all the situations, even though in Brazil things are so bizarre that could be true, all the situations are invented, but the thing that I wanted to feel is that they could be true, and they could, to what I researched and to to what I know about, but they are all product of the imagination. So there's this blend of things that I wanted the film to feel like.
Yeah, and I think it also allows some room for humor and sort of this idea of how absurd the situation can be as well. I think you mentioned that in some of the material I've read, that you wanted to address how absurd some of the situations are, the fact that there are young people and adults forced into sort of this situation where families just can't even just have a discussion about their sexuality, and it's being fed through different sources, the media, politics, and of course, religious members of the church or their own friends. Do you think that that was kind of the goal as well, to show a little bit of humor in an absurdity?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I love humor. I think humor, dark humor. I think humor is a powerful weapon. I'm a person who personally enjoys it. I'm like that in real life. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I think I don't feel life as, having only one tone, whether drama or humor. So I think I really wanted to go through this story, which is serious and violent, but with
Yeah.
humor, with dark humor. Actually, because the absurd of the situations, even what we live nowadays, it has a bit of a humor. Like, for instance, we have in politics here, and even in all this homophobic movement, there is some part that is tragically funny. Like, we
Mm,
have a senator here that says that women, the kids cannot play with Frozen because she's a lesbian,
mm,
and there is a guy who went to the Congress with a wig to make fun of the transgender. I mean, it's bizarre, but when you look at that, I mean, it's so pathetic. This person is so pathetic, you almost like laugh at him.
mhm,
It's so I wanted to bring this absurdity that for me it's tragically funny. Yeah, for sure. It was
mhm.
totally intentional to portray these people, in their pathetic figures.
For sure. Thank you for sharing that. I wanted to talk briefly about your leads, especially Mae Jenkins, who you worked with before. But I also learned that you worked with a young man, Cowan Alvarenga, who plays her son. What was in terms of them working together? They have this sort of tense relationship as mother and son, but there are very tender moments when they need each other as well. What was that sort of discussion with the two of them with regards to some of those very important scenes?
Yeah, I think this was pretty much the idea of not having this character of him who was completely a victim. I wanted his character to be strong. I wanted this character to have the strength to keep on being who he was, that would never give up. And I wanted this mother as well not to be the villain. I mean, she's a mother of a teenager who sometimes can be a pain in the ass, and I wanted the
Yeah.
audience to relate to one and to another, and not to have like a happy ending. I mean, sometimes you don't. Maybe this mother will accept him one day, but we don't know. But it's not to portray things, to romanticize things. That was not the idea.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think I wanted to portray the complexity of these characters and of the situation. So it was important for me to have all these sides, all these colors that I think people
Mhm.
have.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think both of them are great on screen. They each have really strong presence on their own and together. So I'm excited that audiences will get to see the two of them soon. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the location, because the location itself is also very important. It's sort of like an industrial looking city. It's a Cubatao. And I understand that it's also surrounded by beauty. And how did you have, I'm assuming that you've known the city for a while, but how did you and your director of photography kind of discuss the look, the texture of location, and also how you would frame people?
Nice. Well, exactly what you said. I mean, Cubatão is a fascinating city because it's like one industrial pole, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time it's surrounded by nature, so it's very contradictory, and it's very dusty. The city, it's very a lot of smoke and dust, so there's dust everywhere, texture everywhere, like
Mm-hmm.
the walls of the houses and inside, outside. And so this texture must be felt, and it's gray. The city is kind of grayish, even if when it's sunny. And we
Mm-hmm.
wanted this to be shown in the film, so we chose like older lenses with color treatment with grain, and with like as if it had a velvety look.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that would never feel sharp. For us, was very important to feel cold, let's say like that, and with and everything, and with a lot of textures, because we felt that it's very relatable with the story and
Right.
about historically, and also it's the city. I mean, the city feels like that, so it was important for us to create this look for the film.
It does have a certain energy around it too, in terms of the different settings that you've chosen to show us. I also was curious a little bit about the music, especially the music that Taquinho sort of dances to and sings to. Is that did you have those choices in mind as well when you were writing the script?
I had some choices. I mean, some of them were exactly that song, some were that wasn't. And so, but those songs were in the very beginning, in my list of songs that I wanted to use for the film, and then I needed to take choices because what I felt fit better because of budget, a lot of things, but they were songs that I fell in love with. I mean, that I had already in mind, that I always loved, that I had already in mind to be in the film, among some others. And then to make the decision, I made a decision for those songs.
Nice. So I know that the international premiere is going to happen here at TIFF, and then it's going to San Sebastian. So congratulations there. I'm curious when you hope the film could be seen in Brazil.
We will probably premiere in October here in Brazil, so it will be right after, and I'm very curious to how it will be. I'm very excited for Brazilian audience who is very, very, let's say, used to the bizarreness of of Brazil, how they will react with it.
Yes, so I understand there's a nice contingency of women filmmakers in Brazil who are trying to make their mark. So I wish you a lot of success and congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you around town here in Toronto.
Thank you so much. A pleasure to meet you, and hope to see you soon.
Of course, thank you. Take care.
You too. Bye bye.